励。
Thank you very much for asking me to speak to you, but mostly thank you very much for all of your performances. They were very, very interesting to me, and I enjoyed watching them a lot, and I was humored by much of it, not laughing at you, but laughing with you. Your choices and some of the humorous things you tried to do were very successful. You told me some lovely little stories, and I enjoyed listening to those very much. So thank you very much. You all just made me feel really good. So I'm asked to say a few comments about your work. And I would like to tell you that we are asked to be judges, but what we are really doing is trying to encourage you to continue to do this work. And the challenge for us is to be able to think about it critically so that we can give you comments that help you in the future, not tell you what you did that wasn't good or that this was great. So, I will give a few comments about that. First, you are doing readers' theater, and there's always this narrator who's in your little performances. That person and all of you that participate and help tell the story, you are expressing something you know. That's what a narrator does. That's the meaning of the word, is to express something you know, whether you are writing or performing or even reading. You are still kind of getting your mind aware of things you know. But when you are performing, you are trying to get the audience to understand something that you know. And that's a real challenge. And for the most part, you are all very successful at doing that, making us understand something, whether it's the meaning of a story, like perhaps don't judge a book by its cover or somebody by their face, you know. Those kinds of morals are really important, and that's a good reason to do this kind of play. The other thing that's very special about readers' theater, that makes it very different from putting on a play, is that you use your voice to make the audience see things that they hear. We call them an audience not because they are listening, but because by listening, they see things. And you use your voice to make them see things. You don't just use your voice to make them see how you feel, whether you feel cold or something like that. You make them actually see things that are happening, going through a cave or running through the forest. Those are things that are really going on, and it's how you use your voice to put energy into the story and make the action come to life for us with your voice. I noticed a lot of you wore little masks on your heads to help us know who you were. Really, who you are is the way you express it with your voice, and your body will show that with some of your gestures. So when they were really clear, I didn't need to look at your headdresses or your masks or things like that. That was great. That was really good. When you do readers' theater, you are doing it for, in a sense, in English, to improve your fluency. And when you are really fluent with something, it's because you can say what you know right from the moment. Like right now, I'm talking to you about something I know. So I don't need to kind of think about what words I'm going to use. So that's what fluency is, and that's one of the reasons you work on doing readers' theater in another language. But you can do it in your own language and still face the same challenge of being able to talk about what you know without having to think about it. One of the things that struck me when I was watching your stories, and obviously this is going to be true because you are working in English and telling stories that come from English. And so the culture, the root of the story, where it comes from, is Western European or American or British. And there is meaning that culture. It actually is a context for why the story happens. And you know, if you don't know what that is, you miss something really important in the story. At the same time, I think, okay, why must you tell a story about America or England or Europe? Why not tell more stories about your own home, your own country, and your own culture in English? That will help you think about your own culture from a different perspective, from a different point of view. Because each language is a point of view on the world. It's like a window that you look through to understand the world. So if you can take what you know about your own home in your own language and put it in English, you will face a really interesting challenge, and you will see your own world in a different way. And eventually your stories about Taiwan will wind up on the internet and in books, and people in the West will learn about you, and they will do stories about your culture in their language. So I hope in the future you will find that challenge and do that. Okay, the last thing that I want to say is how great you were at putting time and effort into your work, and it shows. It shows more in some people and less in others. That's why some people do better. It's not because they are better. It's because they have to work harder. And that's what makes a person better at what they do. So your time is appreciated. When you work hard and you do it well, we enjoy it more. And then it shows in who does the best, I guess. Thank you very much.
那我简短的讲一下评审老师的那个建议。第一个，他说读者剧场旁白小朋友上了台之后，也是属于表演的一部分。所以表演者不是只让台下的小朋友听懂，让台下的评审老师听懂，重要的是你要把你自己了解的讲给我们听。那第二个就是读者剧场是用你的声音来表演这出剧，所以如果评审老师可以不需要看你的道具，看你其他的动作，可以用声音影响他们的话，这是很成功的一个表演。那第三个，老师他刚刚有提到流利度的问题，流利度不是只有讲得很快流利度应该是说你在不需要思考的情况下讲出来的这个英文，这也是读者剧场我们平常训练的时候就是让你脱口而出讲出来。那再来第四个，老师他有提到是他看我们今天大部分的这个剧本都是以西方故事或者是美国或者是欧洲文化为主。那老师建议说，如果以后我们在演出的时候，如果我们可以用我们自己的文化、自己家乡熟悉的东西来演出的话，会更有意义。那这个是我们评审老师对大家的勉励。今天不是比较谁好或谁不好，是比较说大家努力的准备。那老师也很赞赏今天参赛的小朋友，谢谢大家的演出。那我们现在请科长帮我们宣布成绩。
你们想要从那个特优开始，还从佳作开始啊？佳作。好，那我们就我们大家小朋友的一个要求，我们就从佳作开始哈。那我们今天各位所有的参赛的小朋友，你们都很棒。那我就先从佳作开始宣布。好，那我们佳作录取3名。那第一所学校佳作是潮州国小，好，第二所佳作的学校信义国小，好，第三所佳作的学校是我们建新国小，好，越来越紧张了哈，那我们 优等，我们录取了2所学校。那第一所学校东港国小，第2所学校是我们鹤生国小。好，接着下来要宣布我们特优的学校。那还没有宣布到的学校，你们都有希望哦，那我们就来期待一下，倒数3、2、1，特优的学校是我们潮和国小。好，恭喜我们今天所有我们 A 场的得奖的学校。那也我们今天没有得奖的学校，小朋友你们不要气馁，因为你们能来参加就是最